this done soon so you can check your answers. So we talked about eliminating, right, the fractions here. So the LCM. So again, you could have added subtracted 3/4 to both sides, and then getting rid of the the denominators, or you can just do it right away here. I prefer to do it right away. So we're multiplying everything by 24 times 24 times 24. And that's what's okay. Start again. So that's gonna allow us to remove the denominators and work this whole number. So this is gonna go 113 is gonna be on top. 24 divided by 4 is going to be 6. 6 times 5 is going to be 30. So that's going to be 30m minus. 24 divided by 4 is 6 again, and then times 3 is 18. So much easier to work with that. So what do we have? Negative 30m equals, I'm going to do minus 18 on each side. Minus 18 on each side, and I forgot to do that. Minus 18. So these two go away. 113 minus 18 is what? 95? Is that right? 13 minus, no, is that right? 13 minus 8 is 5. Yeah, I got 95. Am I doing something wrong? Okay, so let's try it. So 95, divide both sides by 30, and negative 30, I'm sorry. And m equals 3 and 5/30ths, or negative 3 and 1/6. I just want to double check because most of the times they don't give us an answer like that. 24 divided by 4 is 6 times 3 is 18. That's okay. 24 divided by 4, 6 times 5 is 30. That's just 24, so it's 113. Negative 30, minus 18 on both sides. 113 minus 18 is 5. And then we have 10 minus 1 is 9, 95. That seems okay. So I am going to leave this. Actually, I'm going to change this. Okay. And I'm going to change this to an improper fraction. And I'm going to have 19/6. And let's see what happens with that. So when I come here to substitute, I'm going to have 3/4. Let me change colors. Let's see if that helps. 3/4 minus 5/4. And then let's substitute here. And I'm going to write negative 19/6 equals 113/24. So let's see if that's true. So 3/4 minus, and let's multiply these two. Can I simplify anything? No, I can't. So 4 times 6 is 24, and the top is a negative times a negative, which is going to give me a positive, and 5 times 19 is going to be 95. Equals 113/24. Let's find the common denominator here, which is going to be 24. That's already 24, so we keep it, and that's going to be 95 on top. And over here, how did the 4 become a 24? Times 6, so I multiply the top times 6. And 18 plus 95 is 113/24, and you can see that our answers are. So we were right. M is negative 3/16. But the one thing that I did, that I don't know if you did or not, was change my answer here back to an improper fraction, because it's much easier to multiply it, right? Instead of multiplying 5/4 times negative 3/16. So that would be the one thing. So that was number 5. And then you chose number 8. Okay, so let's look at number 8. Maybe you can move this screen over here. All right, so let's go look at number 8. So it's negative 16/9 equals negative 4/3 and 5/3 plus n. So I am going to do the seriative property on top, and I'm going to get negative 20/9, okay, and then negative 4m, or n/3. Okay, so I'm multiplying these two. Negative 4 and 5 is 20, 3 and 3 is 9, and then a negative times a positive again is a negative. 4 times n is just n, and then remember the n is over 1, and 3 times 1 is 3. So now I can definitely multiply every single term in here by 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. And that's going to give me negative 16 this 9 will go away. Okay, negative 20. And then here, 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3, and 3 times 4 on the top is going to give me 12. Okay, so I am going to add 20 on both sides. Okay, so that's going to give me, that's going to go away, negative 12, and it's going to come down. And that's going to give me negative 16 plus 20 is 4. Divide both sides by negative 12. And my final answer is going to be negative 1/3. All right, so let's go back to the original equation and substitute. So I have negative 16 over 9 equals negative 4/3, 5/3 plus 1/3 plus n, right? So instead of writing plus negative 1/3, I'm just going to write, let me just change colors and indicate this is my substitution. Okay, so now we can solve and see if left side equals right side. Negative 16 over 9. And before I do the distributive property, I can combine these two, right? And inside I'm going to get 4 over 3. Now I just multiply. Negative 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, and 3 times 3 at the bottom is 9. And our answer is correct. Yay, so far 2 for 2. So that was 8, and then I think 9 is next. Okay. So number 9 is, now that looks very simple. 2b plus 9 over 5 equals negative 11 over 5. So let's get rid of the denominator. So multiply every single term here times 5, and this guy times 5. So I'm going to get these two simplified to 1. 1 times negative 11 is negative 11. These two also simplify to 1, and 1 times 9 is 9. And this one is 5 times 2, which is 10b. I forgot to do this before, but if you don't want to, it's okay. If you want to, just to help you out. Variable is b, multiplied by 10. It's being added to 9. So the inverse operations I'm going to use is going to be subtract 9 from both sides and then divide by 10. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's subtract 9 from this side, 9 from that side. That's 0. 10b equals negative 20. Divided by 10, divided by 10, b equals negative 2. Okay, so that one was nice and easy. And then let's substitute. So my original equation is 2 times b, which is negative 2, plus 9 over 5 equals negative 11 over 5. Okay, so this is why my substitution was right here. So negative 4 plus 9 over 5 equals negative 11 over 5. So now I have to add these two, right? So remember, if there's a denominator of 1, so let's find a common denominator, which is 5. Right, so over here, negative 11 over 5 we're not going to touch, so I'm going to just write that down. So now I found a common denominator. How did the 1 become a 5? Times 5. Therefore, I multiply the top times 5, and I get negative 20. We're adding, so we keep the denominator. Add the numerators. Negative 20 plus 9 is indeed negative 11. And you can tell left and right side are the same. Okay. So far, I'm actually doing well. 9, so 5, 8, 9, and then in order 17. Okay, so let's look at 17. So 17 is 16 over 9 equals negative 4/3 minus 4/3, and I'm definitely doing the distributive property in this one. Okay, before I multiplied them by the LCM. So 16 over 9 is going to just stay over here. Let's do the distributive property here. So negative and negative is positive, first of all. 4/3 times 4/3 is going to be 16 over 9, n. And then again, the last one is negative times a negative, which is a positive, and 16 over 4 times 4, 16, and 16 over 9. Well, in this case here, oh, good. They're all 9s, so multiply by every term by 9. All the 9s are going to disappear, leaving you with 16 equals 16n plus 16. Here's a variable n. It's being multiplied by 16, and then 16 is added to that product. Inverse operation, we're going to do minus 16 both sides and divide both sides by 16. So let's go ahead and do that. Minus 16, minus 16. These two go away. 16n equals, and 16 minus 16 is 0. That's okay. Divide both sides by 16, and n equals 0. 0 divided by a number is 0. So, wow, I love these because when it's 0, our substitution is going to be super, super easy. Okay, so 17, so let me copy the original equation, which is 16 over 9 equals negative 4/3 minus 4/3 times 0 minus 4/3. So that's the substitution is here. 16 over 9. So negative 4/3 times 0 is 0, so this goes away. So inside the parentheses, you only have negative 4/3 left. So negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 4 is 16, and the bottom 3 times 3 is 9. Look how pretty that is. Okay. That was 17, and then I'm going to go to 21. Okay, so 21, right? These are not, so we're moving relatively fast. Negative blah 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 plus 3/2 of b equals 5/2 of b minus 5/3. I will do this really properly, and I will do that. So negative 11/3 stays. This doesn't change. 5 over 2 times b is just 5 over 2b. And then positive times, so this is what I just did in this one. Positive times a negative is a negative. 5 times 5 is 25. And 2 times 3 is 6. Well, let's multiply each of the terms by the LCM, which is 6. So everybody gets multiplied by 6. Let me pick a color. This times 6, this times 6, this times 6, and this times 6. Okay, so what do we get? So I can do 6 divided by 3 is 2 times negative 11 is negative 22. 6 divided by 2 again is 3, and 3 times 3 is 9, so we get 9b. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15b. Minus, and then 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 1 times 25 is 25. I have now variable balls on both sides. Let's get rid of 1. We'll get rid of this guy here, 9b. By preference, I get rid of the smaller one. This goes away. I'm left with negative 22. 6b minus 25. Well, now it's just a two-step equations. We add 25 to this side, add 25 to that side. This goes away. 6b comes down. This is just 3. And then divide both sides by 6. And b equals a half. So that's our answer. Okay. Now comes to our check. And in our check, we're going to substitute. What question was this? 21, right? We're going to replace b, wherever I see b, with a half. So I'm going to get negative 11 over 3 plus 3 over half, 3 halves, and I'll put the half in green. Right? So this is where my substitution is happening. Equals, and go back to blue, 5 over 2, b again, which is a half, minus 5/3. So there's my, that's my substitution. So it's now a matter of just solving. Right, so now let's do this. So we get negative 11 over 3. Multiply these two. 3 times 1 is 3. They're all positive, so it's going to be 3 over 4. On this side, you know what? I'm just doing, we can, do a half minus 5/3. Okay, I'll do it over here. A half minus 5/3. Well, the denominator is going to be 6. It's 3 minus 10. It's going to give me negative 7 over 6. So it's actually 5 over 2 times negative 7 over 6. Now I can multiply. It's going to give me negative 35 over 12 on the right side. So hopefully I get the same answer on the left side. Again, we have to find the LCM of 3 and 4. Let's add it. It's going to be 12. So I can multiply. How did it? I put on everything under one denominator. You can do that. So we got negative 44. Right. So we got, this is times 4. This is times 3. So the top's going to be times 3, and the top's going to be times 4. So I'm going to get negative 44 plus 9. Okay, so Negative 44 plus 9 is indeed negative 35 over 12. And we are good. So that's 21. Now we're going to go 24. Okay, so I like these questions. Okay. Gives you a little bit of a challenge. Minus 11 over 3r equals negative 7/4 r minus 5/4 negative 4/3 r plus what? Plus 1. All right, so there's a 1 here. Okay, oh my god. So this is definitely an ugly one. Nothing to do over here. Definitely take care of the distributive property over there. So negative times a negative is a positive. 5/4 times 4/3 is just 5/3, right? Because the 2/4 we can simplify. And then negative times a positive in the back is going to be a negative, and 5/4 times 1 is just 5/4. Oh, I forgot the r here. Very, very important. Oh, okay. Huh. So now I can multiply everything by the LCM. Okay. And the LCM of 16, 3, and 4 is 48. So I'm going to multiply every term by 48. You can combine these two, like if you wanted to, you can combine the 7/4 r and 5/3 r, but I'm just going to multiply everything by 48 and then do whatever combining I have to do. So let's just show that I'm multiplying all these terms by 48. Okay, let's do the easy side, which is the right side. 48 divided by 4 is 12, and 12 times 7 is 84, r, negative. 48 divided by 3 is 16. 16 times 5 is 30, r, positive. And then 48 divided by 4 is 12, and 12 times 5 is 60. Minus 60. Wait a second. Sorry, there's something wrong in Choland here. 48 divided by 3 is 16 times 5 is 80. Oh my god, seriously. And then minus 48 divided by 4 is 12, and 12 times 5 is 60. Okay, so now we're good. And on this side, 48 divided by 16 is 3. 3 times 149, or 3 times 150. Take away 3, it's negative 447. And then 48 divided by 3 is 16, and 16 times 11 is 16 and 16, 176, negative r. Let's combine some like terms, which we can, not on this side. These two, negative 84r plus 80r is just negative 4r minus 60. Get rid of one of the variables, either left side or right side. We're going to go for this big, we're going to take out the one negative 6. So we're going to do plus 176 on both sides, r. Those two go away. Negative 447 is going to come down. What is this? 176 is going to give me 172r minus 60. Yuck. Okay. Talk about ugly. Plus 60. Plus 60. These two go away. I'm going to have 172r, and this one's going to be 387r. It's 387, sorry, negative. And my final answer, divide both sides by 172, 172. R equals negative 387 over 172. Oh my god. Right, so let me write that answer here on the top, because I'm going to do some erasing. And I'm going to replace. So hopefully, I'm going to replace, right, my variable with that value. And hoping to God that I get it right. 149 over 16 minus 11 over 3 times negative 387 over 172. 5 plus 7, okay, so that can be simplified. That's good news. So negative 7/4 times, again, negative 387 over 172 minus 5 over 4, negative 4/3 times negative 387 over 172 plus 1. So everywhere, and I'll put an arrow here, 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 and here is where I substitute. Negative 149 over 16. These two I can multiply, and I can simplify 387. I know I can simplify, so it's going to be 387 divided by 3. It's going to be 129. So this can be plus. This can be 129. So we're going to leave that as 11 times 129, which is going to be 1,419 over 172. Does 172 and 16 have any? Yeah, there's 16. No, they don't. Craps. Okay, let's just continue with this side. So the LCM, because I'm lazy, I'm just going to multiply 16 times 72. I don't think that's the LCM, but so the denominator would be 2752 plus 2752, which means that I multiplied this by, I have to multiply this by 172 and this by 16. So 149 times 149 times 172, that's going to give me negative 25628. On the other side, I get 1419 times 16, and we're going to get 22704. We can 2204 minus 25628. We're going to get a negative number, negative 2924. So I hope that the mess on the right side looks like that. All right. Okay. So that's going to be positive because a negative times a negative. So 4 times 172 is going to be 688. On the top, we're going to get 7 times, what is that? 387. Which is going to give me 2709. And then I have to first do the parentheses here. Okay, so do I even want to attempt? So I can, this 3, so 387 again, divided by 3 is 129. So on top I get 129. So it's going to be 172, right? Negative and negative are positive, and 4 times 129 is going to give me 516. Now, notice that it says plus 1, so I'm going to add the plus 1 to the 516 over 172, but instead of, I'm going to change that 1 to 172 over 172. That's going to allow me to write these two together, to combine those two right away. So inside the parentheses here, I actually get 172, and I'm going to get 516 plus 172. It's going to give me 688. Okay, so that makes it likewise easier, a little bit easier. 2709, 688 minus 5 times 688. Yeah, 688. So now, can I simplify this? Please, 688 divided by 4. Yes. So 2709, 688 minus. Okay. Now, before I subtract that, I have to multiply these two, and guess what? This and this becomes 172. It can be simplified, and then 172 over 172 cross over, it just becomes 1, and 5 times 1 is 5. Ooh, I like that. So now I have to simplify. Sorry, I have to subtract those two. So we're going to use 688 as our denominator, right? Because it's 5 and 1. So that doesn't change, but this I have to multiply by 688. I multiply the top by 688. 5 times 688 equals 3440. 3440. And if I subtract that, I'm going to get an idea. 3440 minus 2709. I'm going to get negative 731 over 688. And are these two? Now we're going to figure out if those two are the same. So, what if I multiply that? Well, let's try to see if they're equivalent fractions, right? So, let me write this straight. So, negative 242752, right? Are these two fractions equal? Well, just I know. Let's see. What happens if I take this, okay, multiply by 4 at the top, at the bottom. So at the bottom, 688 times 4 is 2752. Look at that. And the top, 731 times 4, please, is 2924. So guess what? These are equal to each other. They're equivalent fractions. All right, so that was a little bit of work. 24, 27. Okay. 27 is on the other side. Go. 27. 27 is 3 halves. 3 halves. V plus 3 halves again equals negative 7 over 4 V minus 19 over 6. Okay, so I will do this before I multiply anything by anything. So I get 3 halves V plus 9 over 4 equals negative 7 over 4V minus 19 over 6. LCM is 12, so let's multiply everything by 12. Okay, so this is 18V. This is going to be 27. This is going to be negative 21V. And this is going to be 2, negative 38. Get rid of the 21V. Let's do plus 21V on both sides. It's going to give me 30, first of all, cross that out. 39V plus 27 equals negative 38. Minus 27 on both sides. And I am going to get, that's a 5, and that's going to be 65. That goes away, and I'm left with 39V. Divide both sides by 39, and V is going to give me, sorry, that's a negative. Negative 65 over 39. Negative. So let me write that on top, and I'm going to substitute. And hopefully it's correct, because otherwise I'm going to have to go back and do everything again. All right, so I'm going to replace, so 3 halves, and I'm going to write negative 65 over 39 plus 3 over 2 equals negative 7 over 4 times negative 65 over 39 minus 19 over 6. Okay, so, oh my god, what do I want? Do I want to add them? I guess I'll add them. So 3 over 2. You know what? I'll just do this for you properly. I mean, it's a matter of choice. Does it matter which one you do? Okay, so if I do this, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So 65 times 3 is negative 195 over 78, because 2 times 38 is 78. And then 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so I'm going to keep on the right side. 78 divided by 4, does that work? No, it doesn't work. I'm just going to multiply both numbers. And I'm going to use 312 as my common denominator. So 78, I'm going to multiply 195 times 4. And I'm going to get 780, negative. And over here, I'm going to multiply 4 times the 9 on top by 78. That's going to give me 702. So if I combine like terms, add those fractions, I get 312, and negative 780 plus 02 is going to give me 78 negative. I hope we have that same answer. So on the other side, negative and negatives are positive, so let's multiply 4 times 39. It's going to give me 156. And 7 times 65 is going to give me 455. Minus 19 over 6. Okay. So now let's hopefully 156 and divide by 6 works. Yes, it does. So we're going to keep 156 as the denominator. So I'm going to change the 6 to 156. Let's find a common. So multiply this by 26, and the top times 26. Right. So 19 times 26 is 494. So if we subtract that from 455, I get negative 39 over 156. And is negative 39 over 156 the same as negative 78 over 312? Negative 78 over 312? Yes, because they're equivalent fractions. So if I multiply this by 2 and this by 2, guess what? I get negative 78 over 312. So these two are equal to each other. All right, so that was relatively a little bit more simple. And that was 27. And then I think I asked you to do 3 decimal questions, right? First one, the third one, and something. All right, so the first one is negative 1.5 m equals negative 2.55. Now multiply everything, the whole line, by 100. Okay, which means we move the decimal 2 over. So it's going to be negative 150 m equals 255. So we divide both sides by 150, negative 150, I'm sorry, and m equals, I'm going to leave it like this, okay? I'm going to leave it like that. And so actually it's not negative, it's positive, my apologies. My answer is going to be 255 over 150. So I'm going to, so I can go back to my original equation and substitute. So I get negative 1.5 times m, which is 255 over 150. And is that equal to 255? 2.55, that's my original equation, right? So we got to multiply these two. Okay, and you can definitely use your calculator here. So 1.5 times 255, enter, divide that by 150. Guess what? It does equal 2.55. So our answer here was correct. Third one, I believe that's the third one. 0.72 equals 0.4 x plus 1.4. Is there more? 0.72 equals 0.4x, right? And then 0.4 times 1.4 equals 0.56. So let's multiply everything times 100. We get 72 equals 40x plus what? Plus 56. We're going to subtract 56 from both sides. X comes down. 12 minus 6 is 6. 6 minus 5 is, divide both sides by 40. And we got x equals 16 over 40, or we can simplify that to divide by 8, 2 over 5, so 2/5. Either you can write 2/5, or even if you want to, write it as a as a decimal, you can use 0.4. Okay, so going back to our check, 0.72 equals, we're going to go back to my original equation, equals 0.4. And I'm going to use the decimal, 0.4 plus 1.4. Okay, so 0.72, 0.4 inside 1.4 times plus 1.4, sorry, plus 0.4 is 1.8. And 0.72, and is 0.4 times 18, 72. Oh, it is, right? 72, but because there's two decimal places, they're equal to each other. Okay, so, and the last one, 2.1, 2.3 plus 2.1m equals 11.65%. Okay. Well, definitely, well, yeah, this is theory property. So again, I would, so 2.1 times 2.3 is 4.83. 2.1 times 2.1 is 4.41. M equals 11.65 plus M. I'll multiply everything by 100. So it's going to be 483 plus 441 M equals 1165 plus 100M. Let's get rid of one of the M's. Minus 100 on this side, M, minus 100 on this side, M. These two go away, 1165, and then we get 341M, and then 483 here, plus two-step equation. Subtract 483 from each side. This goes away. Let's bring down 341 down, M, and we get 1165 minus 483, that's going to give us 682. Oops, I don't know why my pen does that. 682, and divide both sides by 341, and we're going to get actually a nice number of 2. So M equals 2. Wow. So I'm going to erase this so I can go back to my original equation, replace it with 2. Place my variable with 2, so I'm going to get 2.1, 2.3 plus 2.1 times 2 equals 11.65 plus 2. So this one is easy. 11.65 plus 2 is 13.65. So now we have 2.1, and inside the parentheses we have 2.3 plus and 2.1 times 2, right? Multiply those two, it gives me 4.2. 2.1 and 2.3 plus 4.2 is 6.5. And hopefully 6.5 times 2.1, it looks like about 13. And it is. And there's your check. Okay, so except for one question, I think everything else was relatively simple. Okay.